Descript Season 6 wrapped up a couple of hours ago. This is a recap of everything that's new in Descript. Welcome to this video. My name is David and I hope you're well wherever you are around the world. Now, a ton of features were introduced, but more or less two main features were introduced. Number one is Underlord, and this is an AI assistant that is super awesome. And then number two, there's a change in the interface. Now, under the hood, there are other changes that have been made. So let's do a quick recap. So I'm going to go into Descript and I've already updated to the latest version. You'll see that we now have some sort of rounded corners to anything that you're working with. And this more or less looks like what used to be in Descript Classic. For those who've used Descript before, if you've never used it before, there used to be a version called Descript Classic, and this more or less embodies what used to be there. So I can say, let me go to this particular project that I have going on here. Now, the interface was, you had your media tabs here and everything that you wanted to do. But now everything has been moved to the right sidebar, with the beginning being Underlord. Underlord is more or less the AI assistant. Now, I'm on a free plan for testing purposes, and you'll see that your free plan will soon be limited to 5 uses of Underlord's basic powers. So if you need to go to the big powers, you need to upgrade. So it's really subdivided really well. So number one, if you want to sound good, you can edit for clarity. That is your script here, studio sound to elevate your audio, remove background noise, and so on and so forth. And when you hover, you can see the different things that can happen when you do whatever you want to do. Remove filler words, remove retakes, shorten word gaps, add chapters. This is super handy, and it's automatic, super fast. Next up, if you want to look good, we have eye contact, especially when you're not looking into the camera straight. You can fix your gaze to look into the camera without needing to record. And then you can center active speaker, and these are still in beta of sorts, but the eye contact still works really well. We have the green screen option, and if you're working with multicam footage, there is now an option for automatic multicam. So you can see that it requires sequence with multiple speakers in separate video tracks in script. So this is very important and key for you to know. Next up, we have the option to generate an image by typing words to make pictures. So it's really awesome. This is an option that used to be there, but it was slightly hidden, but I like the way that it's being rearranged right now. Next up, we have the repurpose section, and from here you can create clips for whatever short clips you want, 5, 4, and this is what Underlord picks your most viral worthy moments and creates clips that pop super fast, more or less like what you see in applications like Opus Clip and so on and so forth. You can create a highlight reel, so create a new composition with all your best moments. This is super awesome. So it's super cut, super fast. This is super awesome. Next up, we can find highlights. So find the most compelling parts for you. I'm not so sure there's a very big difference between these two, but probably there is. And then we have translate captions. This has been highly requested, and by upgrading to the latest version, you can translate your transcript and captions to any of 23 languages available at the time of recording this video. Next up, we have the option to kind of publish. And this one is more or less to give you some extra things. For example, if you want to draft a title, let's say this one is just YouTube. If I want to draft a title, I just click on this and do whatever I want. Let me scroll down again. We also have the option to summarize. We can summarize our transcript to get an accurate, concise synopsis of my content. Show notes, really awesome, especially for podcasts. And it comes with chapters and timestamps. That's really awesome. A YouTube description. You can draft social media posts. You can draft a blog post from your video, which is really awesome and very handy. And more or less what happens here, if I click on this, all you need to do is just import prompts right inside here to go along with what you want Underlord to do. Next up, we have the right option, where you can begin from this if you don't have any content, to brainstorm, write a script, write an outline, rewrite whatever content you have. So Underlord is really awesome and can do the heavy lifting and just leave you to be creative the way you want to be. Now, next up is the project, and this is what was more or less like media in older versions. So whatever you're working on right now is in the projects right here, and once you click on it, you'll be able to see your compositions, and your composition is still somewhere here. So if you can click on this, you can create a new composition and so on and so forth. Set composition to audio only, and your files are available here, and you can upload from here to add files, or a link from YouTube or Giphy, or just click on the three dots to create a new folder, create a sequence, and then you can change the thumbnail style the way you want it to be, grid view or sort and filter. And it's good that you can always search for your files right inside here. Now, scenes are what you see on this particular side right here. So with this slash, you can make a new scene, and if I come here and make another slash, I make another scene. So you can see 1, 2. Now, this scene right here gives you a ton of things to work with. Everything is consolidated. You can either choose from a template here, gallery, or use the ones that they have available here. They're really, really good and awesome that you can actually work with. So that is the scene. You can set the duration, and this is more or less the duration of maybe the video that you're working with here. And then you can set the background that you want, the effects right inside here, color adjustments, blur, film grain, pixelate, zoom blur, and then we've got transitions, in and outs. We have fade, a ton of things, the fade outs, and then we've got your layers right inside here. And your layers is every media that you actually have right inside here. Next up, there's the layer option specifically, and click on that. And here's where you get your layers, and you'll see your script is whatever we have going right there, and you can click on it to expand to see the different options that you can actually add, either the audio effects, and there are a ton of audio effects that you can work with right inside here. Super awesome. Either you can do studio sound if you are recording in a noisy place, darkening, you can do some opacity, and then you have the options for layouts if you want to create maybe a circular talking head like this one for talking videos. If you use the screen recording option in Descript, then you can use that. Then you have a bunch of effects, green screen, and then we've got chroma key, color adjustments, and so on and so forth. Center active speaker, and we also noted that this is also available in Underlord, and eye contact is also available in Underlord, and the same applies to studio sound. But it's also good to know that you can also find them in the layer that you're working with right here. And then you have some animations here. You can create kind of custom animation and so on and so forth. Now let's go to the record option. The record option is available right inside here, either audio only, camera, or the screen. And when you do the screen, it gives you a picture-in-picture option where you have your webcam as a rounded webcam, and so on and so forth. And the good thing with Descript nowadays is that you can record multi-tracks. That is, your video and your screen are two different tracks that you can easily edit and make changes to. And then you can choose your speaker, or more or less your microphone and everything. And also the recorder settings are up here. You can click on that and then set the different options that you want to set here for everything that you want, maybe the recordings, whatever, until you're satisfied with your settings right there. Depending on what you choose, for example, because it's selected audio only, I'll only see options for audio. Somewhere here, you'll not see other options on like what camera you're going to use. But if I select it, it's going to disable my camera, and that is why I'm not going to do that. But just know everything is right inside here. Now we have elements, and it's good that we now have everything set out really, really well. Previously, it was called text and then shapes, which really did not make much sense to me. But having it as elements, you have the option for text, subtitle, title, really awesome. We also have some basic shapes, triangle. This more or less looks like just a triangle that's clear, transparent, if I may say so. If I click, yeah, that's it. If I click on it, and then we have this one that's with some sort of color, And then we have circles, stars, and so on and so forth. We also have dynamic text, timer, title, marker, speaker. We also have waveforms. Here we go, lines, circle, rings, wave, progress bar, and this is a bar, spinner, a pie. And then we have some annotations that you can use for your projects, overlays. These are more or less like stock media library. You can see the countdown timer, and then you have some frames. And remember that most of them have the show all option. If I click on that, it shows you all the types of, for example, frames that are available. Then we can go back, and then we have captions. And captions have really improved because we now have a ton of options here to choose from. I believe there should be more than 13 caption styles at the time of recording this video. So let's say you want one word. If I click on this, it's applying the layout. It's applied the layout. Now let me just delete my shapes here. So we've got this, and once you click on that, you can see that you can change the font style. Let's say we go with Roboto, and then you can change the font style to either thin, italic, and so on. The font size is right here, and then we have the font color. We also have karaoke. We also have the different colors that are available right inside here for you to work with. So this is really awesome that we can finally do this in Descript. We also have effects, and it's just a ton of things right here. So effects that you can work on in the captions, and you can see the different option that comes up for captions here. A quick menu bar here, and then we have all these other options here that you can work with. And if you can actually just slightly play this. So somebody asked me the other day, so you can see the way they look like, they look good, and so on and so forth. And there's just a bunch of options that you can add. I'm not sure if really these effects work on like the captions. Yeah, they do work. Seems they work. Let's see. Yep, they work inside the captions. Strange, I did not expect that to work. And then you still have the option to translate captions inside this particular captions panel. If I click on this, you'll see that this advanced AI feature will soon be limited. Upgrade your plan before you lose access. So I can set the language, maybe Catalan, and then click on submit. It's going to go to the cloud and then bring you Catalan captions for you to work with. Now, I don't know any of the languages available at the time of recording this video. If they had Swahili, I'd probably translate and see if it really works the way it should be or as advertised. Let's go back, and once you go back, it takes you to Underlord, but we're in the captions, and the captions feature, if I click on this, just double click on it, should more or less give us the options that we want. That is, if I click on the effects, you'll see the different options that you want for the captions, and you can still change from captions to freeform, speaker, whatever. Just a ton of things right inside here. Next up, we have media, and from here is where you have the stock media library, footage from story blocks and so on and so forth. And you can see some from Giphy. You've got Tom and Jerry here, stock images, Giphy stickers. If you go down, we have backgrounds. We also have content from Unsplash. Really awesome. And then we've got some music right inside here. So it's really simple to actually access whatever content you want to access from the side, drop it where you want it to be, and continue with your editing without any interruption whatsoever. So that's Underlord, and Underlord is really awesome. You've seen it has a ton of things. We also have the new layout and so on and so forth. Something else is that we have the layout option here, and that is the application layout. If I click on this, you'll see that we have a side by side like what we have right now. We also have a stacked option where you have your video, your script, and so on. And then we have the canvas only. So you'll not kind of see all these things here. That is the scenes. If you just want to see your video in full view. This is something that I'd really like to test out, but most people probably will use the side by side to be able to see their scenes right here, and so on and so forth. Now the timeline has also changed. As you'll see, you can actually make bigger or larger, that is the timeline. You can also hide the timeline so that you can see everything that you want as you like it to be. Actually, with this one we can do a stacked. Yep. And this one looks good as well, because you'll be able to concentrate more without thinking about the timeline. But if you want to show the timeline, you can do that to see it a little bit better. And let's go back to the side by side layout, and this is what we have right inside here. Now all these features are good, really good, but one thing I would hope to see in future is, as for the captions option here, let's assume I decide to go with this particular style. If I configure it, let's say the words are lighting up in more or less orange, yellow, whatever color that is, with some sort of stroke. If I change the color to like blue or whatever color I change it to, I should be able to save my own caption styles right inside here. So what I'd highly recommend is, can we have a favorites menu option here, or anywhere else, a favorites menu, mostly somewhere here, so that if, let's say, you constantly use specific features in Underlord, you can have them right inside there, and then they're under favorites, but now you have this particular layout inside the favorites option. If you have captions, you have the option for captions, and then the different caption styles that you use. For elements, the different elements that you use. So it would be awesome to have a favorites feature right inside here to quickly work with that. Something else that I wish would be possible to get is an option for reusable media. There's so many people use maybe the same intro, same outros, and most of the time you find people need to keep re-updating that. Maybe you can have some sort of library. I'm not sure how they're going to space out everything inside here, but if you can have some sort of library of reusable media, that would be really awesome, so that it's super easy to work on different content as it goes. Now as I've mentioned, this update is really awesome because of Underlord and the ton of things that you can do. In future videos, I'm planning to do a ton of things, and also most of the tutorials we've done on Descript are more or less kind of obsolete at the time of recording this video because of the change in the interface. This interface or the layout is kind of drastic. Even most people who had courses on Descript will need to re-record all the content that they had going on. So it's really chaotic. And something else I'd like us to see is that there's a different let's say go new project. There's a new sort of project right here going on. Let's have one open, and you can see, like, you can now have some sort of a new welcome page when you create a new project. You can paste a video from YouTube or Giphy, start writing, record, browse templates, or paste directly from your clipboard. So that is what the new kind of project interface looks like. But as I've mentioned, there's a ton of updates, a ton of work to do to record a ton of tutorials, so it's going to take some time, but hopefully we're going to get everything ready, and we are going to experience this awesome update as it should be. So I hope this video gives you a quick recap of what was talked about, what was missed. They kind of missed the translate captions, but was answered using the Q&A, and also the layouts, different layouts. I believe it was mentioned as well. But it's also it would also be awesome to have some sort of library for frequently used media or reused media, and also an option to save our own media, for example music, whatever, right inside here, and also some sort of favorites that can also be subdivided the way we have in Underlord's features. So more or less, like, if you favorite, let's say you edit for clarity, remove filler words, and add chapters, also your favorites. You can see them easily in favorites. Maybe you use automatic multicam. Let's say obviously create clips is going to be a really huge one. It's going to be used a lot, and maybe translate captions. And then we have maybe the publish options here, maybe for summarization, YouTube descriptions, and so on and so forth. Really depends on what you're using. But that version of Descript was really awesome and packed with a lot of content and a lot of Q&As. That's Descript Season 6. Something I'd like us all to note is that from an email they sent us like 10 hours ago, the web version of Descript is out of beta, and from what I've heard, it's kind of working much faster than the desktop version. So you may need to check it out and see if it really works out as fast as they claim it to be. And then there's a limits on AI features that is coming soon. So they hope will take the next month to get familiar with Underlord and all the improvements. Starting July 2nd, they'll be introducing usage limits on Underlord's AI powers. They need to do this to ensure the long-term stability, performance, and continuous improvements of the AI. So that is something that is going to come. Maybe something else I can mention quickly here is that let's see what do we want. Let's say we want to draft a title here. Hopefully in future we're going to be able to save our custom prompts of whatever we want Underlord to do, because most of the people that create, let's say, podcasts, redo everything over and over again, and that is where Underlord is going to save them a ton of time. But with now prompts, especially for the different options that require prompts, then I'd say it would be awesome to have the option to save our prompts right inside here, so that whenever you want to use it, you know what to use it for and when to use it. But simply put, that is a quick or more or less in-depth recap of Descript Season 6, where we got Underlord introduced, a change in layout, and also we have translation of captions available, and also multiple caption styles available. I hope this video is of value to you. Thank you so much for watching.